Moving can be scary, and today we're going to talk with someone who reached out to me through YouTube about moving across the country and what that experience was like. All right, so I'm here with Robert. He just moved to Long Beach from Kansas City. And Robert actually reached out to me on one of my YouTube videos. He'd been, searching and trying to find where he wanted to move to, and he contacted me, and now he's here, and just wanted to kind of talk about what that process was like moving here from someplace that on the other side of the country, and he hadn't been here before. So what do you think so far, now that you're here?
Well, so far, first off, let me start off by saying thank you, Shane. I really appreciate all the assistance you gave me in making this, helping to make this change possible. But I really like it. It's everything I expected and more. Great.
And so your key things that you were looking for when you're thinking of moving is, you wanted, you have a dog, so you needed to have the place for the dog, and you wanted it to be walkability. It seems like some great options for walking around in restaurants and stuff in the area. You're liking it so far?
Oh yeah, there's numerous amounts of restaurants and very walkable. I feel very safe walking around. Walked around at different times of the night, so it hasn't seemed to have been a problem so far.
And what do you think were some of the difficulties about moving somewhere where you hadn't been, and just trying to understand the area?
It's really hard, or at least I found that it was difficult when you go to do a search like for the crime in the area. I don't know exactly how or what they're basing that crime on, if it's for the whole city, but I'm looking, I was looking for, I knew what part of Long Beach I wanted to be in, so I wanted to see what the crime would look like there. So that was kind of hard. It's not even probably anywhere near as bad as like they say. I mean, yes, we do have, some homeless situations here, but I don't see a big number of crimes or violence or anything like that.
Yeah, I think most people, when they're looking to move, that's the first thing they do, is they look and see what the crime reports are in the area, and it's really hard to tell just off of that. So one of the things I was doing with Robert was driving around the neighborhoods and sending him videos, and so I think that's one thing that is really important to do, is just get a video of what the streets look like, and you can also check out Google Maps. If you go on Google Street View, you can always kind of get a good idea of what the streets really look like, and it gives you a better idea than just looking at the pictures on a listing or something.
Correct.
Yeah. And then as far as climate and everything, you're in Kansas City. Is it better weather now?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, so I love that temperature there and everything. So when I got here, I was like, oh yeah, so much better, because this time of year back home in Kansas City, it's already, starting, the winter's coming, and where I wanted to be. I wanted to be out of there before winter hit, and I did that, so.
And great. Then you were telling me that you had gone to an arts festival?
Yeah, it's called the Arts Walk, and they do it every second Saturday of the month, and it's put on by the Arts Council of Long Beach. I was able to make a lot of connections. I myself make wreath swags, centerpieces, door hangers, things of that nature. So cool. I made a lot of contacts and getting to know what's here, what's available as far as the craft community is concerned.
Was that something you researched before coming here? Did you look on the community websites or anything to see what was going on in the city? Or?
I did a little bit, but mainly I was just trying to get moved.
It's a stressful process, and I think that's one thing that's really important to do, and that you did a really good job of, was just doing your research on the different neighborhoods and streets, and just kind of trying to understand the community as much as possible, because just looking at pictures is not going to necessarily give you an idea of what it's like to live here.
Exactly. And that's one thing, as you and I were talking earlier, I would encourage for anyone that reaches out to Cheyne to also do their portion or their part of doing their own research. Be proactive. You know, don't expect Cheyne to, you know, meet every single need, because only you know what you're looking for, what you're comfortable with. Not necessarily comfortable, but things I would deal with.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, my goal is to help people find a place that they want to live, but at the same time, you know, everyone comes from a different neighborhood or streets, and their different levels of, you know, goals and priorities might be different. And so I don't want to put somebody in a situation where they're not comfortable, but I don't know what their current living situation is. So the more details I can get from people on what they really like and what they don't like, what's a deal breaker, what's important in their search, the better. Right. So, you know, if you're thinking of moving, please reach out. If you're thinking of moving to Southern California, I'd love to help. The big thing is getting started early. You know, it was a long process. I think, what, 3 months or so?
It was more than that.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I want to move tomorrow, so let me go and check it out. You definitely need to be prepared, and, you know, basically go in thinking that you're going to move tomorrow, even if you're going to move in 3 or 4 months, because it takes time to really nail down what is a priority in your search.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I was going back and looking at some of the dates from some of my first searches after I had touched base with you, and it was more like 5 to 6 months.
So it takes a long time, and it's because, I mean, we weren't even looking specifically at Long Beach at first. We were looking at Torrance, and then in Redondo, and so it just becomes narrowing down what's a big priority for your search, and then that the cities kind of better fit what you're looking for are going to come up as you narrow down your search. Well,
True.
I was glad to finally meet you.
And good to finally meet you.
And thank you so much for letting me help.
And so I want people to know it is possible to reach out to somebody on YouTube. The movie you have no idea is clear across the country from where I was, halfway across the country anyway. I did reach out to Cheyne. I found him here on YouTube, and it is possible he helped, and I'm here.
I'm glad I could help, and I'm glad to meet you. It's like, if anyone is interested in looking for a new place in Southern California, feel free to call or text or email me anytime.